Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're going to be using a team built around Walking Wake as if it was legal in VGC Series 2. And if you enjoy this content and you want to see more like it, of course, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more, and answer the comment question of the day: what Walking Wake moveset are you guys looking most forward to using in competitive? For me, it's probably the Booster Energy set. I think it'll be the most splashable, but Life Orb definitely does have a special place. With that said, let's get into the team. We're going to be doing a best of 3 for this, by the way. Obviously, Walking Wake is not legal in the VGC ladder, so we're doing a best of 3 against my good pal Incog. I'm going to link to his channel down below. We have a video actually going up on his channel on, I believe it's on Saturday is when he said it's going up. It's definitely over the weekend as far as I'm aware. So we have that going up. It's a great time over there, and Incog's a great content creator, so make sure you check him out. First up though, we have Walking Wake on this team with a Life Orb, Photosynthesis. This is the Tera Fire build, essentially to give stab to Tera Flamethrower, which should help with KOing Pokemon such as Tera Grass, Iron Hands, as well as Amoonguss in general. With the Hydro Steam, this is another primary stab option, and these two in tandem on the Sun should be fairly damning for a lot of opponents. There's not really a lot that actually wants to switch on this. In fact, the only Pokemon that wants to take these 3 attacks in tandem would probably be a Azumarill, which it's purely just because of the fact that it's water and fairy combined. However, there's not really a lot of Pokemon that exist in this metagame that would actually switch in, and even a Azumarill isn't that common right now, so I'm pretty okay with this. Moving on to our next pick, we do have Talonflame with the Covert Cloak Tera Ghost. After the last time I used Talonflame on the channel as a showcase, I actually did look into this, and a couple comments told me that the Tera Ghost is great for preserving HP. So then essentially I can keep a priority hit instead of taking the fake out, and while I do the immunity to it, I lose my priority. This is a little bit niche in terms of what specifically I would use it for, but it is great for stuff like Iron Hands, Iron Bundle leads, so I can avoid getting fake outed plus Hydro Pumped, so I'll definitely take that. With the Taunt, of course, this is great for just stopping different recovery mons, as well as different setup things like Annihilate. I have Sunny Day, which should be boosting my Photosynthesis on Walking Wake, as well as my other past Paradox Pokemon, with Tailwind and Brave Bird being probably my primary attacks to click here. The other 2 attacks will probably be clicked maybe once or twice in an entire game, whereas Tailwind and Brave Bird will be clicked pretty much in every game of the set. But with that said, Talonflame is just in general my great support piece here, and it will be extremely valuable. Up next, we have Great Tusk with the Clear Amulet. This should help stop opposing Intimidators, with the Tera Fire being great for burn immunity. This makes Great Tusk into essentially one of the best ways around Arcanine, assuming it doesn't Terrestrial, of course, with the Headlong Rush and Close Combat being great stab options here, with Ice Spinner being great for removing opposing terrain. I do sense that there's a chance that Incog might bring Iron Leaves, as I did tell him that both were legal for this battle. So I want to make sure, of course, that we are prepared for that, and I figured that with terrain being so likely, may as well go with Ice Spin. This is also great though to pressure potential Tera Grass options as well as Tera Flying Pokemon, which would otherwise be able to sponge our potential stabs. We're Max Speed Jolly, which is great to outpace Pokemon such as Goldengo if it's Timid Max, or just in general, it's great under Tailwind for Pokemon, really just for pretty much everything in the format, so we'll definitely take this. Moving on, we have Flutterman with the Terrestrial Fairy and the Booster Energy. With the 228 HP and the 44 Fizz Def, this allows us to take an Adamant Wild Charge from Iron Hands. Meanwhile, the 4 Spadef in tandem with the 228 HP should help for Iron Bundle Hydro Pump. It should, I believe it's a 3-hit KO guaranteed. We have 100 special attack, which is just great offensively speaking for Pokemon such as, I forgot what specifically the calc was for actually. I would have to specifically pull it up because my Discord search is not working. That's great. Okay, so I don't even have actually the way to pull up my information because this is the spread I actually brought to Orlando Regionals. But at the same time though, the speed is for, at the very least, the Roaring Moon if it's Jolly Nature. So I think that's probably the most important part of the spread, truthfully. Everything else can be kind of tweaked around. Yeah, so it looks like I actually just found the notes for this spread in particular. It looks like this is meant to, yeah, be 3 KO'd by Iron Bundle Hydro Pump, or at least it's near guaranteed 3 KO, I should say. So I'll definitely take that. Regardless, it's still a really powerful Pokemon with Booster Energy speed. This outpaces a majority of the metagame, barring, I guess, Monster or Tailwind and opposing Booster Energy Pokemon that like Flutterman and Bundle, but that's really about it. Moving on, we have Iron Bundle with the Focus Sash. This is a great speed control option with Hydro Pump and Free Shot being primary stabs. Ice Wind is a great backup, especially late game, to help gain speed control for Pokemon like Great Tusk and Walking Wake on our team. So in case the Talonflame does die, we have another means of slowing my opponents down. Overall, really good option, and with the Tera Ghost, we can preserve Focus Sash, which is great to get around Fake Out, though I also do a Protect for this as well. It's a very niche scenario. I'd even click Terrestrial to begin with on Bundle. Final mon of the team we have is the Goldengo with the Terrestrial Water. This is designed so that way then we can utilize Goldengo as more of a bulky piece, with the Terra Water being a great way to resist Pokemon such as Arcanine Flare Blitz. And this gives us a good way to set up on this and potentially go for Shadow Balls or make it rain on the opponent. With the 188 speed on Goldengo, I forgot what this is for. I believe, oh, you know what? This is for Modest Armourouge, which is a fairly decent Pokemon, of course. Modest, especially with max speed, is common on the weak armor builds. So I wanted to make sure I could outpace that potentially, as Psy Spam is one of the best non-paradox forms of offense in this tier. So yeah, with that said though, without further ado, let's get right into the battles. Peace out, guys. Hey guys, we're here today using our first showcase of the new Pokemon, Walking Wake in VGC. If you guys enjoy this and you want to see more, of course, leave a like below and subscribe. Answer the comment question of the day. I think I forgot to ask this in the Iron Legion, which I've recorded for tomorrow, but that's going up second. Regardless though, answer the comment question of the day. What is going to be your favorite moveset on Walking Wake to use? I have a short going up in case you want a few ideas, but let me know what you guys are going to be running on it down below. Anyway, so we're taking on my good pal Incog. I'll link to his channel down below. But he's using a team consisting of Walking Wake, Sableye, Annihilate, Moongus, Arcanine, and Iron Hands. Now, I forgot to mention beforehand that I was gonna see if we wanted to do open sheet. I sent him mine just in case. If he sends me his, great. If not, I have the notepad just in case. It is best of 3 today. In terms of my lead, I think I'm gonna definitely lead off with Talonflame and Fluttermane for sure. I'm gonna bring Walking Wake in the back, and then I think Final Mon will be Bundle. I think Bundle will be a good cleaner, but realistically, leading off with Fluttermane should be a really good option here. The only resistance would be the Arcanine on this team and Amoonguss, both of which can be muscle passed pretty easily by Walking Wake. The biggest concern I would say is trying to clear probably be clearing the Annihilate in case it's really bulky or some weird Terra type to get around me. So I want to just try and put some pressure on that as quickly as possible. My opponent will lead off with the Arcanine here. The Arcanine lead is perfectly fine, actually. I'm going to proceed to, instead of actually going for Tailwind, as I do outpace my opponent's entire team naturally, funny enough, with Fluttermane, I think instead what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to proceed to go for a Protect on Fluttermane. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for the Sunny Day here. Actually, I could go for Sunny Day. Let's see. So I could go for Sunny Day and just not Terra just yet. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go for Taunt on Annihilate. And then I'm going to go for a Protect here. I want to see if they're going to go for Terrestrial at all. I don't really value the Tailwind either, so I don't need to really go for it just yet. Sableye is going to come in. Okay, so good to note. Let's see. So Arcanine plus Annihilate, and then Sableye in the back. Okay. So we actually taunted the Sableye on accident. Now this was meant to taunt the Annihilate to stop it from going for something such as a Bulk Up, but I will certainly take this. This is more than helpful. The Protect goes off on the Fluttermane, which is valuable. However, it doesn't really make a huge deal. We're going to go for the Taunt here into the... Actually, no, I don't even really need to go for the Taunt. I mean, I guess now I could go for a Sunny Day. Again, it doesn't really power up my Fluttermane all that much because my Fluttermane popped a booster. However, it'll be useful for later on. I'm going to go for a Moonblast, meanwhile, into the Sableye spot. Just take that out entirely. My opponent's going to go for Sneak, actually. So Shadow Sneak should do some good damage, but thankfully this won't do a ton. We do see the Roselli Berry on Sableye, good to note. Roselli Berry, Shadow Sneak, good to note. Okay. So this should be honestly fine. My opponent would probably need to go for something like a Flare Blitz here. Snarl is thankfully not going to do enough to stop me from KOing Sableye next turn at least. So I'll definitely take that. I'm going to proceed to go for the Brave Bird here into the Arcanine. And then I'm going to go for the Moonblast here into the Sableye. This should hopefully get some really good damage off. And even if something like Annihilate comes in later on, I'm pretty okay with this. Shadow Sneak will not KO me. It's actually going to go for Talonflame this time. So I'm pretty fine with this. Let's see. Okay, so Sableye is gone. So I will take that. I'm going to guess the Arcanine will probably Flare Blitz me. Probably my Fluttermane. Especially with the play to Shadow Sneak the Talonflame. But I'm not too sure here. My opponent is going to go for Flare Blitz. And they're going to actually target the Talonflame. Interesting play for sure. But I will take that. They probably are going to go for E-Speed into the Talon spot if I had to guess. And that's probably why they made the play. which truthfully works out well for me. I can get my Walking Wake in here and I can Tara it and start massacring my opponent because they don't really have a good check to it actually. Which is great. It's truly great. So I'm going to go for a Tailwind this turn, as I do see Talonflame most likely dying. I could go for Tara Ghost actually, just to guarantee this. I think I will, because we don't know, since it's not open team sheet yet, I don't know if my opponent has E-Speed or not. So I'm going to go for this, and then I'm going to go for the Moonblast into Annihilate. Moonblast into Annihilate should be my strongest way to damage it. And going for the Tara Ghost should get around any sort of random E-Speed from this Arcanine. That way then I can guarantee my Tailwind gets up, which should be valuable for my Walking Wake defeating my opponent's Walking Wake here, especially if it ended up coming. So I would much rather guarantee the speed control at this point. So we're going to see no E-Speed. Okay, a little bit of a wasted Tara then, but honestly not a huge deal. Meanwhile, Annihilate is going to go for Phantom Force. Okay, so they're probably trying to get around Protect, which is a good call, because they could actually put me in a bad position here by essentially forcing me to have to take that hit, which isn't great, especially with how fast my team is, but I can make it work. I can definitely make it work. So they're going to KO me, which is fine. Phantom Force, damn. Actually, that does kind of put me in a bad position. Because again, I can't really protect around this. I'm going into Bundle. And I'm going to go for the Pump here into Arcanine. I could have went into Walking Wake, but truthfully, I want to preserve health from that. And I can also just go for the Hydro Pump plus the Shadow Ball here, and just dual target Arcanine that way. And that should still put on a lot of pressure, even with the fact that Pump will be weak in damage, of course. So this does a fair bit of damage, and the Spit F drop obviously helps. I think Pump would have probably KO'd from this range at least. I can't imagine that with the no Spit F drop, that wasn't going to KO. Maybe if it was like a really sped AV Arcanine. But regardless though, we do take it out, which is perfect. Now something is getting Phantom Force is probably Flutter Mane. It's fine. We're going to see my opponent's final Pokemon. However, I think it's going to be a little bit too late because I can just go into Walking Wake here. And I do get off at least a couple turns of just really high power damage against my opponent. I'm pretty sure I have 2 turns of Tailwind and like 2 turns of Sunny Day as well, if I remember correctly, but maybe I'm wrong. We're going to bring in Walking Wake regardless though, and this should be an absolute monster. My opponent will also bring in Walking Wake. Okay, this is perfect. So what I can essentially do here, we thankfully activated Photosynthesis and we are special attack boosting. My opponent is going to be speed boosting. Okay, so they're speed boosting. That's fine. So we have 2 turns of Tailwind. Yeah, okay, perfect. 1 turn of Sunlight. 2 turns of Tailwind is more important, to be completely honest. I'm going to go for a Freeze Dry into the Walking Wake, and then I'm going to go for a Hydro Steam into the Walking Wake. Essentially, this should cover the routes of whether this is going to be a Terra Fire set or not, because if it is Terra Fire Walking Wake, I KO it right now with the Hydro Steam, and otherwise I KO it with the Freeze Dry. So we're going to see a Terra Steel set. Okay, Terra Steel is still interesting. However, I should be able to massacre this anyway with a combination of the dual target here. So I'm pretty okay with this. Glad I definitely did decide to dual target though. Thankfully as well, my opponent decided to go for Protect here. Because despite the fact that obviously I do lose my boost with the Photosynthesis, both in special attack and Hydro Steam damage, at the same time though, I now know what my opponent's going for. And with the Sun gone, I can actually keep my Bundle's attack fairly good. Well, my Hydro Pump, I should say, fairly good. Phantom Force Annihilate is going to go off yet again. This is perfectly fine because realistically, I don't think either Pokemon gets KO'd here. Let's see. Is this Booster Energy? Okay, they're not Booster Energy. We're going to go for a Pump here, and then I'm going to go for the Flamethrower here. Flamethrower should do a little bit more damage, I want to say. It's probably about even, actually, now that I'm thinking about it out loud. Because Hydro Steam is... No, Hydro Steam would definitely do slightly less. But this Flamethrower should guarantee pick off, which is perfect because I should be able to take out Annihilate with my combination of 2. There's no way in hell that Phantom Force KOs both my Pokemon, so I'll definitely take that. Okay. So that's fine. Looking at... Let's see. So we know that Walking Wake also has Protect. We didn't really reveal much about it from there. And then it's Terra Steel. Okay. So Tailwind petered out. That's fine. What I can proceed to do here... Oh, I accidentally clicked the back arrow. I think I did that in another vid recently. But what I can do here, I can go for the Icy Wind, and I can go for the Hydro Steam here. This should cover in case this is Scarf Ape. Now, I don't think it is. Oh, it is Scarf Ape. Okay, Scarf Ape is fine. Then what I could do, I'm just going to go for dual target. Because no matter what, again, I don't think it can KO both my Pokemon. There should be no way in hell it KOs both my Pokemon. But it is good to know that we can guarantee this is choice Scarf Ape. That explains the Phantom Force, actually. That explains it a lot. Because I was going to say, I was a little bit confused as to why that was the choice. I'm definitely going to click Icy Wind because in the off chance that I lose Walking Wake here, which I don't think this KO's Walking Wake for what it's worth. Yeah, Walking Wake choose. But I just wanted to guarantee that I could get the speed drop off, assuming that I hit the 95 move. Because that way then I can pick off Annihilate on the next turn with Freeze Dry and secure the dub. But it seems like Walking Wake will do that anyway. I didn't mind the Defiant boost because at this point in the game, I guaranteed outpaced on the following turn and could pick this off. So I knew Defiant would affect, and truthfully, this actually gets me more information going into game number 2. So I'll take that. We win game number 1 off of the dual water core, which this is really one of the reasons why this core is so good still, because the speed control that bundle does provide out of Tailwind for Walking Wake is incredible. But with that said, we are already up a game, which is really good. Let's get into game number 2, though. Okay, so getting into game number 2 today, we saw from game number 1, Arcanine and Annihilate had led. And I feel like that, honestly, I could probably just leave really easily with Walking Wake and Talonflame. They offensively put a lot of pressure on this team, and I can Terra Walking Wake at any given moment that I really need to. I can throw Bundle in the back for sure, and then I think that Finalmon could be a lot of different things. I do still like Fluttermane in the back. However, I also like the idea of Great Tusk, as I'm anticipating Iron Hands probably coming this time around. Especially if it is a Terra set, I feel like Arcanine and the Iron Hands will come this time. And Great Tusk also should put a lot of pressure. My opponent doesn't have a ground switch in outside of Terra, so I feel like that should be a pretty good 4th bond here. Benching Fluttermane was a good offensive piece, sure, but I feel like it's best used on lead. So I'm going to bench it this game, and we'll have to see how that does. Depending on my opponent's lead as well, knowing the fact that it is a Scarfed Arcanine, we could utilize this to our advantage because I can Tailwind around it pretty easily. Iron Hands Arcanine. This is fine. So what I could do here, I don't actually value the... obviously, with the Covert Cloak, I can get around Fake Out, which is great for me. However, I don't really need to go for the... Terra Ghost just to completely get the immunity to it. So I'm going to go for the Tailwind this turn. I'm actually going to go for the Sunny Day. I think I value boosting my Walking... Nope, never mind, because they're speed boosting, right. They're speed boosting Walking Wake, which is good information, actually. I need to mark that down. Let's see. Photosynthesis, speed, because that will definitely bite me in the ass later if I forget that. Okay, so we know this is Terra Grass, which is really good information. Okay. So Arcanine plus Iron Hands. Okay. So I'm going to assume that this is going to go for Fake Out turn 1, if not maybe like a Volt Switch or Wild Charge. We're going to see Protect go off on Arcanine, which is good to note. Okay. And then Tailwind does go up from Talonflame. This means that they probably went for like a Wild Charge to start, maybe a Volt Switch. Probably Wild Charge though. Wild Charge, yep, okay. Into the Walking Wake, perfect. This works out great. Alright. So what I could do now, actually, I can go for the Terrifier Flamethrower into Iron Hands, and I can go for the Sunny Day. Let me actually double check real quick. I want to see if this can KO... If this can KO Hellfest. Now, thankfully, Incog went for the Terra Grass, which means that I could maybe actually justify this. Terra Fire, Flamethrower with the Life Orb in the Sun with Photosynthesis. Oh my god, this doesn't even... Oh, right, because Iron Hands also... Yep, okay. So yeah, that should Massacre. That should guarantee Massacre. My opponent's actually going to switch out, which is fine for me. Amoonguss is going to come in. Okay, well, Amoonguss is still going to get shattered by this. So I will certainly still take that. Essentially, this is now giving me a very free turn, though, to just KO a Pokemon. And thankfully, as well, the Sun should literally guarantee this OHKO. In fact, my opponent doesn't have a switch into this Pokemon. Their best switch in is Walking Wake, which is fucking amazing for this. This is such an offensive monster, and that's why I recommend this set a ton, by the way. Special attack boosting set truly does matter for OHKOs, because if I was speed boosting, let's say, right? If I was speed boosting on my set, oh right, I need to make this Timid. Yeah, if I was speed boosting, I could technically not guarantee the OHKO on Iron Hands. However, with the special attack boosting set, it does, even versus like a max speed F careful Iron Hands with Terra Grass, it's 50-50. However, we are -1 now, which is a little unfortunate. Should still be fine, in all honesty, because I can just go for Brave Bird plus the Flamethrower now, and I'll have this free turn. Actually, we're going to see Walking Wake of my opponent's own come out here. I kind of want to just go for the Hydro Steam. I think a Hydro Steam... No, I'm going to go for Protect. I'm going to go for Protect, and I'm going to go for the... Actually, I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch out Walking Wake, because I want to reset my stats. We'll go into Bundle here. And then I'm going to proceed to go for a Brave Bird into the Walking Wake in case they don't Terra. Now, I am anticipating that they're going to go for Terra Steel here, which I'm perfectly fine with them going for Terra Steel. This should be easy enough for me. Especially if they go for Terra Steel too, this benefits me a lot because I can utilize... Oh, you know what? Never mind, because I went for Terra Grass already. Okay, so I can go for Freeze Dry guaranteed, unless they dual target. Which if they dual target, I'm fine with that. Talonflame goes off, perfect. I'm fine with Talonflame dropping. My opponent will probably go for Snarl and Arcanine this turn, which I don't mind. I should be able to pressure the Walking Wake even with the -1, truthfully. Let's see. So, Iron Bundle. Ooh, leftovers. That's good information, of course. Yeah, Freeze Dry should OHKO. Even at -1, this should OHKO. Just in case, we'll go into... Yeah, we'll go into Walking Wake here, and I'm going to just... Yeah, so I'm just running Calcs. So this would need to be a fairly bulky set to not OHKO, and even still, it's already taking damage, so I'm pretty content with the fact that this should be a free turn. So we'll Freeze Dry here, and I'm going to go for Hydro Steam. These should both essentially claim 2 kills for me right now. The one exception, I guess, would be if Iron Hands comes in. But even with Iron Hands coming in, it's just delaying the inevitable at this point because I have such great field positioning with these Pokemon that I should be pretty okay with claiming everything. Arcanine will go for Protect. That's fine. Again, it's just stalling a turn for my opponent is all. If, yep, okay, so the Walking Wake thankfully did not Protect, which is really the one I was more concerned with. This is the one that was by far more terrifying here. My opponent essentially just has Iron Hands and Arcanine left, though, which I'm fine with. Despite the fact that, obviously, Iron Hands could go for Fake Out, and this essentially does delay a turn for me. And I do also need to make sure that I'm going for Protect, which is a little bit unfortunate, because by going for Protect here, I essentially give myself 1 turn, and if this is not an AV Iron Hands, then I could miss my guaranteed OHKO. So, a little bit terrifying of a situation here, but I think it's still overall with it. We're going to go for Protect, and then I'm going to go for Protect. I can't let this thing get Snarl dropped because that's when I start not being able to OHKO it anymore. And especially with the fact that this is Terra Grass, I do need this to essentially be kept around. Even if I do lose a Sun though, Flamethrower plus the Freeze Dry bundle should be able to dual take it out, so I'm okay with that. But essentially it's just gonna come down to if this is Assault Vest or not, which I'm gonna guess it is. I feel confident that Assault Vest actually with how Incog has played it. So I feel more correct in this play than I would in trying to gamble the turn. So we'll go for Freeze Dry here, and I'm going to go for the Flamethrower here. And we're just going to take our hands. Truthfully, I know this is potentially overkill, but I would rather just guarantee the KO at this point because the Arcanine is actually meaningless since I can go for Pump plus Hydro Steam and guarantee that KO here. So I would much rather just put this offensive pressure on the Iron Hands at this point. So Iron Hands is officially KO'd, which is amazing for us. And then we just have Arcanine left, which Arcanine is a little bit of a threat, but it's not really going to be too big of a deal. Really, the biggest concern that I have with Arcanine would be going for Snarls, which even then it failed to get the 1 on bundle this turn. Still not a huge deal, though, because Arcanine should crumble to my offensive comp, which thankfully, again, this dual water works out so well for us. We're going to go for Hydro Pump, and I'm going to go for Hydro Steam, and this should guarantee the KO at this point. Hydro Pump definitely won't OHKO right off the bat. However, Hydro Steam definitely will pick it off, which is great for me. This mon truly is a fucking demon in VGC. I cannot wait to continue using this thing. Now, I'm not sure if Incog wants to do a game number 3. Game 3 for content or no? I'm fine either way. Okay, Incog does want to do a game number 3. Sweet. Okay, so because I do want to show off another lead this team has, and the vid is already a little bit short. So let's go for game number 3. Let's see if Incog can pull off a win. I do have faith in. I want to show off the Goldengo mostly on this team because I think Goldengo is a decent piece, and I think Goldengo also is a decent matchup here as well, and I want to show that. But yeah. So we'll go into game number 3. We'll cut and see you then. Okay, so we're getting into game number 3, where looking at this, so. Every single mon has actually came besides... No, actually every single mon has came, yeah. Okay, because it was Iron Hands and Walking Wake that came over Annihilate Sableye last time. Okay, so I feel like I definitely don't want to bring Flutter main then. I think that realistically going for Great Tusk would probably be smarter. I could lead off with just Bundle and... So, Arcanine has been the only consistent mon both games. I feel like that will change this game. I'm going to lead off with Talonflame and Great Tusk just in case. because a Great Tusk Talonflame should be a really good offensive piece, and it should be able to ransack, bring Walking Wake in the back, and then I think last mon probably will be Goldengo. This could be my Terramon in all honesty in this match, as this would be helpful for putting pressure on stuff like the Annihilate. It would also be helpful for putting pressure on stuff like Walking Wake. I could also go with Flutter Mane, but I'm going to go with Goldengo because I think Plat Goldengo could do a lot of damage against this team as well. Good luck or fun to my opponent, and let's try and put some offensive pressure. Let's see if we can go 3-0 with the team. I don't know if we can necessarily. For what it's worth, I was nearly bullied into losing game number 1 already, and I want to make sure that I could play this well enough to go 3-0. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. That Walking Wake with Terra Steel, though, could actually be a bit of a problem, as it puts a lot of pressure on my Walking Wake to predict correctly. So the Terra Steel definitely could be a little bit annoying there. We're going to see Sableye Annihilate bleed. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So, let's see. So we know this is Scarf Annihilate. The fact that the Sableye is going to lead, though, is a little bit scary. I'm going to Brave Bird the Annihilate, and I'm going to go for the Terra Fire Headlong Rush into the Sableye here. This should essentially, if they fake out the Great Tusk, that's fine. I'm not too concerned with that. This should essentially cover whether this is going to go for a Will-O-Wisp here, or if it's going to go for some sort of fake out into Sableye. I'm fine with either route, essentially. Now, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, last game revealed... No, never mind, because my opponent didn't even go for fake out. They probably just assumed Covert Cloak Talonflame, which is the smart play, of course. So we're going to get the Brave Bird off here into Annihilate. This doesn't actually KO. What the fuck? Okay, that's actually kind of scary. Sableye's going to go for a Thunder Wave here. Ooh, Thunder Wave the Talonflame is kind of bad. That's actually really bad for me. Because now my Talonflame, which is like a decent offensive piece for me, and it's been a really decent support mon overall, is pretty badly neutered. Now, I can still put some pressure on. And thankfully I hit the Sableye with this, because at the very least now I don't have to worry about burn. But Thunder Wave could still be actually pretty bad, and I need to... Ugh, okay, that's not good. I don't know if I can guarantee get up my Tailwind here. I'm going to get up a Protect. I know that Great Tusk can still go for Phantom Force into this spot, but I'm going for Protect to get her away from Sableye if possible. Because ideally, I would get up a Tailwind here, and then I can maybe get a 50-50 up. They're gonna go for Light Screen. Okay, Light Screen is a little bit scary. This actually will put a bit of pressure on me later on. Thankfully, though, Annihilate is locking into Phantom Force here and not like a Rage Fist or something. But Incog could still potentially switch out the Annihilate and then go for Rage Fist later on, which could be scary. Regardless, I'm going to go for a Brave Bird into the Sableye spot, and then I'm going to go for a Headlong Rush into Annihilate. Because if nothing else, assuming I don't get Thunder Waved, okay, nope, they're just gonna go for Shadow Sneak. So thankfully I didn't get Thunder Wave because I can actually outpace the Annihilate now and just KO that. So we can KO both Pokemon here. Thankfully the Talon Tusk core, of course, puts in a lot of pressure against my opponent, and I could probably clean whatever's left at this point with the Walking Wake, especially if I get a Sun Boost. So it's gonna determine based on essentially what I get as my last two here. Now, Amoonguss could be pretty bad. Same as Terragrass Hands. Those two could be bad. It's really kind of just how my opponent plays their Terra options here. So we're gonna see Iron Hands. That's fine. Plus, what's the other mon? Walking Wake. Okay, so Iron Hands could be kind of scary because really what my opponent has access to at this point is the ability to fake out my Talonflame pretty freely. I'm here for Sunny Day in case they don't go for a fake out, but they could claim a KO just to avoid any sort of support getting up. And then I'm going to go for Headlong Rush into Iron Hands. Solely because Iron Hands could be a little terrifying. They'll actually go for fake out into Tusk. Okay, that was a decent play as well. They're going to probably go for the KO into Tusk, which is good for my opponent for sure, as this was a decent offensive piece, especially against the pre-Terra core. Now, we will at least be boosting our Tusk's attack stat, which, you know, that's great right before we get Hydro Steamed, because I'm sure that's going into Tusk. No, it's going to go into Talonflame. Okay, a little bit better for me, I can't lie, but they could still actually apply the same sort of Terra shenaniganry. So I think the fact that they went for the fake out before doing that was actually really smart, because now I still have to play that same Terra 50-50 here. Because, and I'm going to try and really make it a 50-50 by going into Walking Wake. Because I do guarantee claim a KO this turn. And barring Protect at least, I guarantee claim a KO. However, I either will KO the Walking Wake, because I'm going to go for the Draco into that spot, and that will guarantee the KO. Or I'm going to KO the Iron Hands by going for Headlong Rush, which will guarantee the KO. Now, I could go for Headlong Rush plus Flamethrower, and that would guarantee a KO on Iron Hands. However, at the same time, I feel like this is ultimately going to cover more routes here. So I would rather go for... I'd rather go for this, because I feel like that... Yeah, okay, so perfectly fine. Walking Wake is definitely a stronger offensive piece, and I didn't really want to let the thing linger, which is a huge reason for making the sequence of plays as well. They're going to go for Protect on that. Okay, so that's actually a little bit scary, but it's not a huge deal, because I don't think the Iron Hands can actually KO either Pokemon. Okay. So this is fine. This is fine. Dragon Pulse should still be a decent option. I forgot I had Dragon Pulse in this set, not Draco. I saw the little dragon thing, and I was like, oh, Draco. But nope, it's Dragon Pulse in this team. Forgot that I didn't change it. Close Combat's gonna go off. This should do some decent damage. This actually KOs the Iron Hand on the Great Tusk. Good to know. I didn't think it would have KO'd, but you know what? This thing is actually, I mean, actually, I think it was -2, so I'm actually, I don't know why I thought it wouldn't KO, to be honest. Okay, well, we're gonna have Goldengo in the back at least, which Goldengo is still really decent here. The issue being is that Walking Wake essentially does claim a KO here. And I do need to be a bit cautious, because so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go for Protect on Walking Wake. And I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball into it. And I need to hope that they value taking out my Walking Wake here, because that's what I've been trying to sweep with every game. This might have been a situation where I should have probably brought FLUTTER as a nice backup, but I guess I wasn't that smart. Nope, they're going to Predict. Okay. Oh, thankfully that doesn't do a lot. That thankfully did nothing. I'm confused. That should have been Sun boosted. I guess they're only speed boosting. I don't know. That should have... I feel like I should have done more. Maybe I'm overvaluing this. Maybe it's not that offensive, and maybe it's just like a really bulky set. I'm not too sure. Oh, I clicked the back arrow again. Oops. I keep doing that. I keep clicking that out of habit. Okay, well... Oh, you know what? Right, light screen. Oh, no. That would affect my opponent with the Shadow Ball, but it wouldn't affect them with... Yeah, I'm really confused. Okay, well, I'm going to go for Dragon Pulse here, and I'm going to go for the Nasty Plot on Goldengo then, I guess. They're really not doing that much damage with the Hydro Steam, then I think that would be my best play. Hydro Steam is going to go off here. Ooh, okay, see, that does a lot more damage. That does a lot more damage. Thankfully, this Dragon Pulse will go off, and that KOs. Beautiful. Okay. So if my opponent didn't target Goldengo here, then I do get a Nasty Plot off, and at the very least, Walking Wake will probably still take a single hit from this, which means that I can get a dual target off. And even still, I should be able to Flamethrower pretty easily and be fine with that turn. Okay, so they're going to... Okay, yes, they're going to Wild Charge. That's fine. We're going to be able to Flamethrower here. And the Flamethrower plus the Make It Rain should be able to KO here. But I'll take that. I'll take that. Thankfully, having Goldengo, though, I guess one benefit is the fact that I didn't just get protected and Wild Charged to KO, because that could have actually... I guess Goldengo does kind of put up a threat of you do need to attack this, but it's bulky enough, unlike FLUTTER to take physical hits from hands if they choose to go that route. So I guess that's a benefit, but even still, I think that speed-wise, I could have just KO'd the thing. And that would have probably put up a little bit more 50 here. Regardless, though, very good games. I know I went 3-0, but all these games definitely, I feel like, put me on a lot of pressure. So it just goes to show how much the opposing Walking Wake, especially being speed boosting, that was very terrifying outside of my own Tailwind to deal with. But hopefully you guys enjoy this, and if you did, leave a like below and subscribe for more content. Shoutouts to channel members, of course, being Josh, aka Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke0, Matt O'Shea, and Koemi. If you guys want to support the channel for a couple dollars a month, you could do so with the links in the description. Answer the comment question of the day: what Walking Wake sets are you guys looking forward to using most? And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Until then, peace out, guys.